The opinions in this podcast are all our own.
But the businesses are real chamber members.
It's a chamber chat.
Coming to you from Wahoo, Nebraska. Chamber Chat with Kate
And Kat.
Welcome to Chamber Chat with Kate
And Kat. I'm Katherine Nygren.
and I'm Kate DeCoste. This podcast is everything Wahoo Chamber of Commerce.
Sorry I was late, Kate, today. After the power went off, I decided I was kind of thirsty on the way to my car, so I grabbed some mocha-seas, so hope you don't mind.
I don't mind at all because I am digging this strawberry smoothie that you brought me.
Oh, it's so popular for them over there. And I grabbed a strawberry lemonade for myself.
It's so pretty.
It's not my usual go-to. I'm more of an iced coffee, but I thought, you know what? Summer drinks, I'm here for it.
Nice. If you are looking for a summer drink, as we are making you thirsty talking about ours, go ahead and head down to Mocha Seas in Wahoo. You can find their address on the We Are Wahoo app if you're not sure where they're located.
And for any of our local drinks and eats, you can find those as well on the Wahoo app.
Yes, yes.
So, Kate, do you have a Wahoo fun fact for us this week?
I do. Kat, did you know that you can rent an entire island in the city of Wahoo?
Really? You can rent an entire island in Wahoo.
You
Tell me
can.
more. Tell me more.
You can, an entire island. There is an island on Lake Wanahoo called Porkchop Island.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yes.
And you're only able to get to it by kayak. I think you can bring a boat as well, but I know for sure, I've heard more people going
On a
there
kayak.
on a kayak.
Okay. Sounds interesting, except I don't have a kayak.
Well, hey, we got a hookup.
Okay.
We have Hammer Outfitters.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's somebody in the area that will rent me a kayak if I want to go to Porkchop Island?
They will not only rent it, we bring it to you at the lake, so you don't have to worry about, does my car have all the stuff?
Right,
like
trailer
it's gonna
hookups.
fall off,
Mhm.
like, because that's what I always worry about.
Mhm.
So yeah, they'll bring it to you, and then they come back when you're done. They come back and get it for you, so it's super easy.
Sounds pretty amazing.
I know. Part of me is like, why do you need your own? Like, that's just so much easier.
Right. Why do I want to store that in my garage when I could just call them and have them do it for us?
Yes.
So tell me more about renting Porkchop Islands. You can rent the whole island?
You can rent the whole island, and you can actually stay on it. You can camp on it.
Okay.
Tent camping, and they do have compost bathrooms.
Okay, so you
you're
don't
good
have to go in
there.
the trees.
Correct. Yes.
Great feature.
Yes. It is only $100 to rent the whole island. You can have a barbecue, a romantic getaway if you'd like.
Mhm.
But it's
Girls'
just kind
weekend?
of a girls' weekend. Yes, a guys' weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like there's lots of possibilities for the summer bucket list there.
Yes. So definitely check out Porkchop Island on Lake Wanahoo. I was even thinking, we were talking about guys weekend, I was thinking we're coming up to Father's Day.
We are coming up on Father's Day, and putting the two together, Lake Wanahoo, fishing permits for Father's Day. Like, what a great gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
All season long.
Yes. And since we are at the beginning of the season, you can just grab your park permit at the NRD as well.
Mhm.
And again, get that fishing license, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a perfect Father's Day gift.
That would be a great bundle, the fishing permit and the park permit. And if you wanted to sweeten the deal, you could always head on down to the Wahoo Locker. And I think pretty much anything there would be an amazing gift for Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. And, if you're on Porkchop Island, you can bring some Wahoo weenies, and, you got something to eat while you're hanging out on the island.
I love it. Love it.
Oh, and there is also right across the street from, not the Porkchop Island, but the whole Lake Wanahoo. We have a new distillery in
That's
town.
right.
So we have
That's
Wahoo
right.
Distillery. I think that would be that Wahoo whiskey might be another good Father's Day gift.
Well, you're going to have to wash down the Wahoo weenies with something. So
Yes.
it might as well be Wahoo whiskey.
Yes.
Nice. I love all that. Well, thanks for that fun fact. I don't know how many people knew we had a whole island.
I know. You're welcome.
Well, I have a poll question for you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So thinking about summertime and going out to the barbecue, this popped in my head. Do you salt your watermelon? Yes or no?
What?
What do you mean, what? Do you salt your watermelon?
I have never heard of
You've
this.
never heard of that.
No.
And you grew up in Nebraska,
Yes. I'm born and
and
raised Nebraska.
you've never put table salt on your watermelon.
Nope.
We pretty much grew up eating watermelon with salt. I mean, nothing's better than a juicy, ripe garden watermelon with a sprinkle of salt across the top.
Really? And so is it like is it what's the taste, I guess, with the salt and the watermelon?
It's kind of that salty sweet. It kind of brings
Okay,
out
so
a
it
different flavor in the
does.
watermelon.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I was wondering because I've learning as I'm getting older that not everybody salts their watermelon, and I think it's kind of weird. If I'm honest.
Now, do you every time that you have watermelon, are you salting it?
If there's salt available, I am.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm at a picnic and there isn't a salt shaker handy, I can do without.
Gotcha.
But my preference
you
would be to put salt
it,
on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my homework for the
Yes,
summer
yes.
is to try some table salt on my watermelon.
I think you should. And I think we should ask our audience what they prefer on their watermelon, salt or no salt.
Yes. And if you're like me and you've never heard of this, you can, maybe we'll make another option of I've never heard of this.
Yes, no, or I never heard of it. So yeah, go head over to our Facebook page after you get done listening to our podcast and please answer our watermelon question.
Nice. So, Kat, it's time for our new segment we call Mailbag Questions.
Mailbag time.
Open that bag. This is where we answer any burning questions you have about life as a chamber office volunteer. Send them to the office, or you can even direct message our Facebook or Instagram social media accounts.
Well, we're waiting for our mailbag questions to roll in, Kate. In the meantime, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why did you decide to join the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I would have to say it's a little more personal than business. So I did grow up in Wahoo, born and raised, and my mom actually owned a salon, Leanne's Beauty Salon.
Oh, I love that.
And if you know where the yoga studio is,
okay,
Play Yoga, that is where my mom's salon was. So I spent a lot of time in there. She was a chamber member and she was actually a chamber president. I don't know if she was the first or I know for sure she was one of the first women to become the president of the chamber.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So yeah, so that's it was just kind of a given.
It felt right.
Yeah, it did. It felt right and was like, I'm going to open a business here. I'm going to be part of the chamber.
Yeah. And try to see what she saw, the benefits were when she was a business owner.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So what about you?
Well, I guess when I started the shop over 10 years ago now, the goal was never to sit behind the four walls of the shop, sit behind the counter and wait for the phone to ring, right? My goal has always been to get outside and interact with the community. So I really enjoyed my volunteering for different nonprofits in the community, chamber included. And it's fun to collaborate with other like-minded businesses in the Wahoo community to serve the greater good and kind of help polish that gem that we call Wahoo.
I love that. And it's always fun for me to hear that just because, again, I was born, raised, left, came back. And then I see all of these people coming in and making our business, our downtown so, thriving and that you weren't, it's your home, but it wasn't.
Definitely a transplant.
Yes.
Well, and one of my favorite things, Facebook memories just reminded me. Do you remember what we were doing this week 3 years ago?
What were we doing?
Well, that was 2020. So we were smack in the middle of COVID. And the
Yes.
chamber launched our Better Together campaign,
That is right.
where we sold all those T-shirts, and then a portion of the shirt, the customers could direct it to benefit a business that was
Yes.
kind of in those uncertain COVID times.
Yes, and that was amazing.
That was so much fun. I can't believe we sold 800 shirts that year. That was
And
pretty
we made our
incredible.
first TikTok.
Yes, it was our first TikTok. I like to rewatch it every now and then just for fun.
It is a fun one.
So I guess that's why the chamber's been around for 100 years.
Yeah. So, one of the questions I hear a lot is, what's the benefit of being a chamber member and why should I join?
I feel like those they're probably more indirect benefits than direct benefits. I mean, how many people call you, Kate, and say, "Oh, I saw you're a chamber member. I'm going to book you for my senior pictures." It's probably less of the direct benefit where you see the orders come in, and more the networking, having that support of the office, that can go to bat for different things. And an office that thinks about larger things than just businesses. They think about the community as a whole. Like, think about all the new housing that's going in by the schools, having the office help with that housing project indirectly benefits the businesses, because if we have more rooftops, that's more workers and more people buying products in town. And it's just kind of the whole ecosystem of the business community in town.
Yeah, and circling back to our Better Together campaign, like
Mm-hmm.
I remember us being on Zoom calls and
Oh,
rallying to
yeah.
help our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the chamber is here for. It's really for the support of our local businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to make sure
that no business went under during COVID. We
Yes.
wanted to make it to the other side with our business community intact.
Kat, do you want to give us another tip on using the We Are Wahoo app?
Sure. So my tip today is using my favorite button, which is literally what the button is called. Each business has a favorite button, and when the app user is logged in and adds a business as a favorite, anytime that business sends a text about a special or a little shout out, the message will go straight to your phone as a text.
Yes, and it is in real time. Unlike when you see something on Facebook and it was posted like 4 days ago.
Right? I mean, I hate it when I see what the Good Friends Cafe lunch special was the next day.
Ugh.
I could also see this being a major asset for any type of salon. Like, if you have a cancellation, like the same day cancellation, you could just send a push notification via the app to all of your followers, and you'd have a great chance of getting that spot filled.
Yeah, I love that. It doesn't have to be a special in the sense that you're having a discount or it's a big special day at your location. It can be like, hey, I can get you in for a haircut.
It's another great way to talk straight to your followers.
Yes. And all chamber business members have this feature.
So if you are a member and haven't started this feature, I mean, what are you waiting for?
Not sure how to send a push notification as a business? You can just reach out to the chamber office and they will send you a link of a video that explains how to do that and much more.
Yes, they have all the resources for all your app questions.
Yes.
All right. Should we end our second podcast with a quick review of upcoming chamber events?
Let's do it.
So don't forget about the Beauty View Dairy Store ribbon cutting happening June 13th at 10 a.m. The Chamber Connections on Thursday, June 15th. And you'll want to RSVP by June 13th. And so when you think about June 13th, think about food. RSVPing for your Chamber Connections food and the Dairy Store ribbon cutting. That Connections will be held at the Wahoo Library from 12 to 1. And then we also have the commercial building at the fairgrounds, their ribbon cutting happening June 29th at 9 a.m.
Perfect.
So much going on.
Yes, it's a calendar full.
It is. So many fun things happening in June.
So now that you are all downloading the app, we will wrap it up today. Thank you for listening, and don't forget
to keep it local, friends. This has been a Chamber Chat
with Kate
and Kat.
See you next time!